Hey everybody, happy spring. Yesterday was like 75 degrees. Everybody was happy, everybody was outside. We're reminded why we like to live here. So a little colder now the next few days, but hopefully spring comes back and stays. And next week is St. Patrick's Day, big day around the Boston area. So I already got my Kelly green on, ready to go for that. So lots to catch up on. I have a lot of great events to fill you in on. Wanted to let you know that the market's doing super well, even with some of the turmoil in the world. It just seems like we have, no supply and we're back to having really high demand. Rates have been favorable. So it's actually, I always say we live in a little bit of a bubble here in the, greater Boston area, but our market's doing extremely well. We're back to seeing multiple offers. That's assuming a property's been, staged and presented well and in a great location and all that. But overall, it's a lot, stronger than it was, kind of faltering a little bit last year, but it's definitely back. So wanted to update you on that quick little market update. On a funner note, we have a bunch of events coming up. This coming Saturday, we have a trivia night up at the Dragonfly Cafe in Lowell, which I haven't been there in person, but I heard it's super cute, and one of my clients knows the owner. So we're really excited about that. We still have some room for some more teams, so hit us up for a trivia night. You can reach out to me, or we'll have a link to sign up. And then the beloved Downsize Day is coming up on April 25th. That's going to be at the Lutheran Church on Davis Road again. So we're trying to do that twice a year, so spring and fall. So April 25th for that. We have Women & Co. So reach out to me about that. That's our women spirited entrepreneurial business owner evening. All the movers and shakers, women around the greater Boston area. Last year we had over 100 people. It's over at Nishotic Country Club in Concord. That's on May 27th. So save the date for that. Again, reach out to learn more about it. It's free. We have sponsors. It's really a special night. We actually also at Nishotic had I call it my bad night, but builders, architects, and designers. We did that a couple weeks ago. I think I had over 50 people there. We were there for hours. They had to kick us out, but it was just so incredible to get people together in the same industry and just be, they're sharing leads, they're sharing stories, talking about changes in code and trends, and just a super inspiring night. I'm really love that night as well. And lastly, again, my main job is, selling houses and doing listings. We have an incredible pipeline. I'm super pumped. Right now we have a couple off-market things. One that's actually a multi-generational with a ADU or accessory apartment in Bedford. So that's a beautiful property. Reach out. We're starting to show it now. We've got, let me try and remember what else. We have some beautiful colonials in favorite Bedford neighborhoods coming up this spring. So some things kind of close to the middle school, West Bedford. I have something in the old Stagecoach Sweeney Ridge location, possibly something up at Page Hill. That gorgeous home on Abbott Lane's coming back on with the pool and the gym and the apartment and all that. That's coming back on in April. We have a new construction in Concord with Hills Brothers. I have condos. We're going to do a whole separate video about Revolution Row coming on Great Road in Bedford Center. That's going to be 10 gorgeous townhouses, and they kept the beautiful old house in the front, so it's going to have a lot of history and character as well. And that's with A.D. Burns, so I'm really excited. And we have another new construction with him, and then another new construction on Dunelm in Bedford with another awesome builder that I just did Hillside with last year in Bedford. So he's doing very unique, gorgeous stuff. So I'm really excited about the level of construction in Bedford right now too. And we have a couple off markets at Bedfordshire that has the private 9-hole golf course. So we have 2 things there that can be shown right now. Maybe something at Huckins that we're working on. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but a couple of multifamilies coming around Bedford, a 3-family and a 2-family. And next door, right above Ginger, there's going to be a 1-bedroom condo there. That's an elevator building. So if you need accessible living, it's great. Also wanted to do a little PSA about Zillow, because I think, a lot of people think that Zillow is kind of like the end all be all for real estate. But to me, it's actually the opposite. So as you know, I work mostly with sellers, and I look at Zillow as a detriment to my sellers. Once Zillow takes your listing and puts it up on Zillow, we have no control. So if something's wrong on there, we have no control. Other agents are actually paying for leads from Zillow. So they'll take my listing and they'll put their face on it. So we just had a story the other day where a client that we're just starting to work with on the buy side was interested in one of my listings on Weber, which are all sold now, yay. And we hadn't been in touch. She didn't know they were my listings. She was on Zillow. And she's reaching out to this random person who was taking like weeks to get back to her, never ended up getting her in there. And she thought it was the listing agent. People think that all the time, but that's actually an agent that's paying to have their face on your listing. They don't know you, they've never been in your house, and they're not gonna, if someone calls them, they don't know anything about the property. So it's really a terrible situation. So in that case, I think it hurt the seller and the buyer, because the buyer missed out on the chance to, even see the place. And, for my seller, he missed out on a great buyer. So it really frustrates me. So we're actually heading in the direction of not wanting to have our listings on Zillow. I actually had something that I didn't put on Zillow a few weeks ago, went 60,000 over asking, had huge open houses. So to me, people looking at Zillow are like the looky-loos, like they're curious, they're not serious. A serious buyer, for the most part, already has a buyer agent and they're hooked up on realtor technology. So they're getting Compass alerts or Redfin alerts or Sotheby's alerts. They're already working with an agent, or they're even finding out about things before they hit the market, because there's so much great agent to agent networking that's going on. A couple other things I don't like about Zillow for my sellers, besides losing all that control and potentially losing serious buyers. They're the only place that shows the days on market so blatantly you can never hide from it. And I always say, like, what other industry or what other product always has that days on market exposed? I think it's unfair to sellers. Like, if you go buy a car, it doesn't say, oh, this car has been sitting on the lot for 6 months. So I don't love that for my sellers. And also now they're doing all these like climate scores and flood risk and crime and all these things, which again, like, you can find out, but you need to have context with all these things. So if you're working with a really good agent, like a great buyer agent, they're going to be doing this homework for you, and they're going to be giving you context around it and the real local reality, instead of just like putting, all of this data up that without any context around it. So as you can tell, I am anti-Zillow. I am pro-consumer. And again, as a listing agent, I feel like a lot of my clients don't want to do the old fashioned, like, have to do all these things. And we're in a very era of privacy and a lot of concerns around privacy. How many people call us and beg us to take down the pictures after the house is sold? So again, Zillow is overexposing things after the fact that people don't like either. So a lot of sellers prefer to be discreet. They prefer to keep their privacy, as long as we can guarantee them we're getting top dollar, which we do, even off market or even off Zillow. So anyways, that's my soapbox, but I think there's a lot of confusion out there and just a lot of frustration on the part of the agents with Zillow, because they're not their listings and they're not their clients. So we're here to protect you guys. So this is probably my longest video in a long time. If you watch this and you give me the password, you'll get a free puppy. No, I'm just kidding. But hope to see you at trivia night. Hope to see you at Downsize Day. Happy spring. Go Red Sox. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.